Heidi, it's your sister. Reply. Are you awake? Are you sleeping? If you're sleeping, wake up. What? Oh, you're awake. If you were awake, why didn't you answer me? I was sleeping. I woke up to the noise of the phone call. What? That's terrible. Don't be so mean to your sister. Come on. You don't know what time it is? You've been ignoring all my calls. Give me a break. You call me sis, sis, sis. It's annoying. You usually ignore me and treat me like I don't exist. I've never had a good conversation with you when you call yourself sis. Well, it's true that I'm your big sister, isn't it? I thought I should talk to you as soon as possible. It's important. Important? About your wedding in a month. Give it to me. Huh? Are you talking in your sleep? I'm not talking in my sleep. Then do you know what you're saying? You've always wanted what's mine. It's insane for you to want my wedding too. Yeah, but you can't have a wedding anyway, can you? It's a waste, so I'm just going to take it from you. I'll make the wedding as beautiful as yours. What do you mean? It's because I got your fiancé, Harold. What? You can't be serious. Because when I met Harold for the first time, I was freaked out. I thought he was definitely the man of my dreams, right? You were just attracted to his looks, right? Well, that's part of it, to be honest. A good-looking guy who is the son of a company owner is too good for the ugly Heidi. I'm the pretty one. That's why I took him. I mean, I'm the big sister, so I'm better than you. All of your things are mine. Harold also said that I'm more lovely as the future Mrs. President. Oh, I see. Either way, I guess I need to talk to you guys face to face at least once. I'm going to the parents' house this weekend. You guys should come. Oh no! Why not? I don't want to see your ugly face before our big wedding day. It's bad luck. Besides, a jealous, ugly girl has nothing to lose, and I don't know what you would do. Scary. I've had enough of this. Do whatever you want. Of course! But I'll at least give you the bare minimum of trouble, so do what you have to do, Ruby. I won't give you any leniency just because you're family. What are you talking about? You're supposed to think for yourself. You're not that stupid. Ha 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 ha! You're so jealous right off the bat. Ugly girl. Heidi, you're 28 years old. You need to grow up. Say whatever you want. Harold?
Oh, Heidi.
Ruby told me about it. You know what you did, right?
Of course I do. I feel really bad about what I did to you. I thought I didn't care how you looked as long as you were good-natured. But still, I realized that as the eventual president of the company, it's important to look good when my wife is standing next to me. That's when Ruby came along, and I knew it was fate.
And looking good too. Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm losing interest.
I'll pay you whatever compensation you want. So let me have the wedding with Ruby.
I don't care anymore. Suit yourself.
So it's okay?
I have no idea, but I've lost interest in marrying you, so do whatever you want now.
Thank you. I hope you find someone wonderful someday.
Heidi! What's going on? Why didn't even one guest from the bride's side show up? Heidi! I mean, why aren't you or mother and father here? All my relatives didn't show up either. Not one of my friends showed up. What's going on? You must have done something. You're disgusting. You did this because you have an ugly grudge against me. How dare you do this to your sister? Say something. What? The notifications are so annoying. Why hasn't anyone from the bride's side shown up? What? Explain it! No explanation. Nothing. I just told everyone that the wedding was called off. I don't know what happened from there. Then what about father and mother? What about our uncles and aunts? The bride just changed from one sister to the other, so it's strange that even my relatives didn't come. Not even one of my friends came. Don't ask me, especially since I don't know any of your friends. You didn't have any friends who would come to your wedding, huh? I do! Why didn't you come either? You got jealous and did something, didn't you? No, I'm not jealous. I'm surprised at how much better I feel. I still don't feel good about it, so I don't want to be at your wedding. I mean, I wasn't invited in the first place. Don't quibble! Just call everyone back now. I'm not calling them back. I just told everyone involved that it's called off. As long as it's not my wedding anymore, that's as far as I can go. It's your wedding now, and the rest is for you to contact the people you want to invite yourself, right? Perhaps you didn't send out invitations to anyone? If that's the case, isn't it natural that no one would come? You are so mean! Do you really enjoy humiliating your sister so much? No, I'm the one who got humiliated. It's pretty embarrassing and miserable to report a breakup, you know. And it's about how my sister stole my fiancé. Mutual acquaintances already know. What more do you want me to do? You're terrible! This happened because you didn't do what you should have done for your own wedding. Don't put the blame on me. Then what about mother and father? I told them I'm marrying Harold. It's not right that they didn't attend their own daughter's wedding. What do you think? Whether they go or not was their decision, wasn't it? It's not like they were forced to go. If they didn't want to go, they wouldn't go. It's their daughter's wedding! How could they not come? You definitely did something. You locked them up to keep them from leaving the house. No, I don't think so. You're lying! Because I moved so far away from home. What? Moved? I've heard from them, but they never mentioned anything about the wedding. I didn't know what was going on there until you called me. What do you mean you moved out? You don't know? I'm a miserable woman who lost her fiancé to her sister. People around me try to make me feel better, but it's like they're touching a tumor. I feel bad about that. I wanted to live a fresh and clean life in a new place without being bothered by people. The sooner I moved, the better, so I took the plunge and moved right away. What's with that? I've got a big wedding going on. Why is the ugly one living clean and clear? It's the result of your negligence of what you should have done. It's like you already hijacked my wedding. You're insane. You should have at least contacted the people you wanted to invite and explained it to them yourself. Ruby, you're 29 years old now. Get a grip. You should have told me I had to do that in the first place. I told you to think for yourself. You're old enough to know better. Don't depend on me for something like that. I'm not an elementary school teacher. Oh, but... Let me stop you right there. I start my first day at my new job the day after tomorrow. I want to be at peace on that day, so don't contact me anymore. Wait a minute! I'm not done talking yet. See you later.
Heidi, it's me, Harold. I'm sending this from my work account since my private one seems to be blocked. I'd like to talk to you about a few things. Whenever you have a free moment, please reply.
What? You don't know what it means to be blocked? It means I don't want to talk to you.
Don't be so cold. Actually, Ruby and I are divorced.
I see. I can't believe you lasted 2 years. I bet your wedding was a disaster.
Ruby was insistent, and it took us a long time to get divorced. In that wedding, the bride's side didn't get any guests. I used my father's connections to round up the guests, and we managed to get through it, even though it was an hour and a half late. But I got a lot of flack for the fact that the bride's name was different from the invitation.
Well, of course. Normal people wouldn't have changed the bride's name and had the wedding ceremony. Ruby didn't seem to have done any preparations for the ceremony herself. She didn't even send out the invitations again.
Our married life was a mess after that. Ruby was actually a crazy woman. I gave her my credit card for everyday purchases. She buys brand name goods to the max, doesn't do housework at all, and usually stays out overnight without telling me.
You didn't realize that before you married her?
Yeah, I was totally fooled. She grew up in the same environment as you. I thought she'd be able to take care of the house and care for others just like you. Being a beautiful woman, I thought she was perfect. I didn't expect her to be like that on the inside.
Well, she's a smart and beautiful girl at first glance.
Why are you so different? You two grew up in the same environment. How can you be so different?
Same environment? I wonder.
Huh?
Ever since I can remember, that girl has been pampered by everyone around her just because she's beautiful. Some people even compared her to my appearance and used me as an example for praising her all the time. Both my parents and I repeatedly told her not to get on her high horse. Ruby just laughed and said I was jealous of her beauty. After graduating from high school, she moved from place to place with men who lived alone. She came home only 2 or 3 times a month. Basically, I never heard from her. She's now 29 years old and she's been living a life like this. She must have spent her life being paid off by men, so of course, she was a spendthrift. I knew she wouldn't settle down just because she got married, and I was right.
Ruby, she was like that.
I think our family is responsible for not being able to correct her behavior. But when she took you, my fiancé, and hijacked our wedding, I thought, oh, you're screwed. My parents and I decided to cut her off. So she's nothing to me anymore. Well, I didn't think of her as my sister from a long time ago anyway.
I didn't know that. Hey Heidi, can we start over?
No way.
That's a quick answer. I know it's my fault, but maybe you could think about it a little more.
If you don't get back together with me, your brother will be the next president, right?
Why? How do you know about that?
I heard it from a friend back home I'm still in touch with. Your parents, for what it's worth, liked me. But anyway, I can't.
Don't say that.
I'm already married.
What?
So, goodbye. After the divorce report from Harold, I thought that maybe Ruby would contact me with a different phone number or app. I got a new phone with a new number that day. Actually, my parents had moved out of their house and Ruby didn't know that. Sure enough, she had been asking everyone she knew for my parents' contact information. Since everyone knew the situation, nobody would tell her. I heard she was in a lot of financial trouble and had finally hit rock bottom. On the other hand, I got married to a man I met through a trusted aunt's introduction. I want to build a happy life with my husband who loves me and is not bound by appearances.
Stella, Do you have time right now? I'd like to talk on the phone if I could.
Oh, I can't. I'm on the plane. Will you please not bother me?
Plane?
I'm traveling with my boyfriend, Kevin, starting today.
Oh, I see. I'll text it to you. You can at least look at it, can't you? I'd like to start discussing the divorce. Can you arrange a time?
What a hassle. I left the divorce papers. Why don't you just submit them?
I'll do it, but we need to talk about alimony, property division, and so on. I don't want to leave the money talk vague.
Oh, that's right. Then that's a different story. Well, I'll tell you what I want for now.
What do you want?
First of all, I would actually like $50,000 in compensation. Well, that's the number that comes to mind. I'll settle for $40,000. You should be grateful.
Huh?
Also, let's split the property in half. You have about $200,000 in savings, so $100,000 each. That means I'll get $140,000 in total.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
The division of property is to divide the money we saved together after we got married. It doesn't apply to each other's personal property that we had before we got married.
What?
Even if we split it in half based on that, well, I'd say 4,000 to 5,000 is about right.
That's not much.
You've been spending it all since you started having an affair. We were saving up for a baby or a house, but you dumped it all on dinners and hotels with your lover. 2 years ago, we had 400,000. If you have kept it, it would have been 200,000.
Oh God, I screwed up.
And the compensation too.
Huh?
In this case, you're the one paying because you had an affair, and I'm the one getting paid. You're not entitled to a penny.
Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. This is your lie.
Huh?
Since you don't seem to know, I'll tell you, okay? Property division and alimony are both for the benefit of the woman who is financially burdened so that she won't be in trouble later on. You are the one who pays the alimony because you are the one who earns the most money.
I'm not saying this to be mean, so I suggest you look into it.
It's no use trying to make me nervous. I'm glad I found out about it ahead of time. I almost got fooled.
What the?
What?
I heard there was an adulterous woman who said something similar on the internet once. I never thought I'd find someone with the same train of thought so close to me. How can you speak out so openly about a misconception without doing any research? In a way, I respect that.
I was just speaking common sense. I will be sure to charge you compensation that you are to pay.
I'm going to hire a lawyer, and then I'll charge you compensation. You and I live in such different worlds that I don't think we'd agree.
You're too stupid to understand what I have to say. Do whatever you want, LOL. You'll end up being ridiculed by the lawyers anyway.
Oh well, don't come running to me later. What?
Let's stay married after all.
Huh? It's only been 3 hours since our last conversation. What's going on?
Kevin dumped me.
Huh? I thought you were on a trip having an affair.
We were on vacation, but he dumped me. Kevin was concerned about your text messages, so I showed them to him. Then, about the division of property and alimony, he said you were right. He said he didn't think I was such an idiot and that he didn't have confidence for it to work with us anymore. He said the trip was canceled because he was breaking up with me and he went home by himself. You were really right. I didn't know.
It's good you realized it early.
That's why I'm going back to your place today.
No, don't go back.
What? Why? We're not having an affair anymore. That's settled, right?
You think you can pretend the affair never happened?
It's over.
Either way, I just submitted the divorce papers. It won't matter if you come back.
What? You said we'd discuss it properly before you served them.
At first, I thought we'd talk it out, come to an agreement, and get divorced. I was naive. I decided that with you only thinking in terms of convenience, it would be too much work. I decided to divorce you first, and then get a lawyer.
Don't you love me?
It's normal to lose your feelings when someone is having an affair.
I love you.
Where's your beloved Kevin?
Don't tease me.
That's my line. Do you think anyone would believe a woman who has had an affair with someone when she says she loves him? If there is such a person, he is the highest kind of fool.
Anyway, I'm going home. Let's talk about it.
There will be no one there when you get home, and I changed the locks earlier so you can't get in.
What?
I've made arrangements for you to sleep elsewhere in case of an attack. I told you, there's no point in coming back.
Then where am I supposed to go?
Go back to your parents' house.
I can't.
I called them and told them I filed for divorce.
That's even worse. My parents are furious about this.
Of course they are. I'm meeting with my lawyer tomorrow. I'll call you when I'm ready.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to make this very, very difficult for you. Be prepared.
Don't cut off the conversation so suddenly. Pick up the phone. Talk to me.